What's up, Womack Nowstalgia? Dave here with a review of The Studio, the new satirical comedy series from Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg via their Point Grey production studio. Rogen and Goldberg, they've been really well established at this point as some of the most consistent and prolific producers in Hollywood, working on tons of projects just at like the EP level, less of a creative level such as The Boys, but also stuff they're a lot more involved with. And of course, The Studio is certainly one of those because Seth Rogen is also the star of the series. The core premise of The Studio is excellent for a comedy series. Seth Rogen, the new head of the film division at a movie studio, trying to navigate the desire to make money versus the desire to make good art. And The Studio is truly the most Apple TV Plus show of all because the series is littered with famous actors, many of which are playing fictional versions of themselves. There are truly too many celebrity cameos to name. It's a constant theme of the series. But the core ethos of this show, I think, is really appealing because it has a really, I think, warm yet also incredibly funny approach to the desire, the fulfillment of making good art and like what that means. To me, it doesn't really come across as preachy or elitist or anything like that because the core conflict, as far as a satirical comedy series can have one, is something that's really broad and appealing to all. Seth Rogen's Matt Remnick character has taken over for the recently deposed Catherine O'Hara's character, who's kind of a stand-in for like an Amy Pascal figure in Hollywood. You have Ike Barinholtz as an executive and friend of Rogen's Matt. Chase Sweet Wonders plays Matt's assistant, and Catherine Hahn plays the head of marketing at the studio, Continental. And also Bryan Cranston is like the CEO, like owner of the studio. Of that group, I'm actually really excited to see Chase Sweet Wonders and see what she can do. She was in Bodies, Bodies, Bodies a few years ago, of course. And if you think about that movie, she was probably the least famous, remember of the main cast in that movie, given how loaded that film was, right? But this feels like a really great opportunity for her to get a lot more eyes on her. I'm excited for that. And I think she has a good energy in the first few episodes, so we'll see. And then, of course, there's just so many like epic cameos. I mean, you have Martin Scorsese in the first episode, absolutely crazy. I mean, he's done a lot of acting at this point, honestly, big and small. But this is probably one of the most significant cameos he's done in a long time. I thought it was hilarious. Sarah Polley also has a huge role in the second episode. Greta Lee as well. I think the physical comedy of the second episode, The Oner, was really great. I think there's a lot of stuff here for like film fans, people that are into like the industry and like cinephiles and that kind of stuff. And there's like filmmaking techniques, but it's also just kind of like really broad comedy as well. So I think this is a show that is wide ranging enough and appealing enough to a pretty diverse audience, but has a lot of actual like industry detail for people that are more into that sort of thing. Of course, this is a show that's taking place in and around Los Angeles and was actually filmed there, which, as we know, is an increasing rarity in terms of Hollywood productions. And I think the meta aspect of so much of what's going on in this show is incredibly prescient. At the end of the day, though, the show is funny, and I think it's a big success through the beginning. It's great to see Seth Rogen in a starring comedy role again. He hasn't had too many of those last few years, as again he's shifted more into being a writer and a producer. So it's great to see him back again. And I mean, obviously he's still got it. One of our great comedy actors of the last 20 years at this point. So that's great. And Ike Barinholtz, as a supporting comedy face, also great to be with. He's equally hilarious. So I'm all in on this show. I think the premise, the minute-to-minute humor of it all is really working. Looking forward to seeing the rest of the season. And I would not be shocked if this is the latest Apple show to get a green light for a second season. Let me know what you think of Apple TV Plus's The Studio. What did you like most about it? And for more TV reviews, subscribe. And I'll see you next time.